Hello, is it audible? All of you?
Yes, sir.
So, sorry for the inconvenience. So we had a slight glitch in the internet connection. Sorry for that. Okay. So where were we? We were discussing the two advanced IO techniques using which I can have the implementation of access methods. Okay, so we had the first one as the buffering of records. Okay, and the second one was the blocking of records. So the main difference between those two is simply I will be having the fetching or accessing of the records. So where the large block of data whose size is larger than the size of the record was being read or accessed well in advance. Okay, hence I can have the reduction in the total number of input and output operations like that are required so as to process a file. So using this blocking of records, I can have the improvement in the file processing efficiency. Okay. So the probable advantages of this may be the improved efficiency as well as the throughput of the IO operations will be improved. Right. So we have a small topic, the so-called access methods. And basically, like here we can have two kinds of access method. So one is the buffering of records and second one is the blocking of records. So you can add these information for the both. Okay. So next coming to the next concept here is something called as directory, right? Directory and the directory structure. Okay. So like let me start with the basic definition of directory and the various types of directory structure. Basically, we have a single level directory structure or two level directory structure and multiple level directory structure and tree structured directories, etc. So we can start with the basic definition of this directory. Like all of you are so well aware of the Windows operating system. Like in case of Windows OS, so this directory are normally referred as folders. Okay, so but in case of earlier operating system, older operating systems, so like DOS and Unix, okay, so these directories were called, so these were called as directories. Okay, so but in case of Windows, okay, so these directories are also referred as folders. Okay, and with the folders, like all of you are so well aware of these folders, like where I can store a large amount of information, large amount of files can be stored inside a folder. Okay, so but in the older operating system like DOS and Unix, these were called as directories. So what basically is a directory is, this directory is nothing but a group of related files. We have the group of related files and all these group of related files will be stored in a single directory. So the group of files with the same functionality can be called as the directory. Somebody has turned on the speaker, it seems. Karthik DM, turn off your mic. Karthik. Okay. So the basic definition of directory is a group of related files or a group of files with the same functionality can be called as a directory. Okay. And if you see a file system means single file system can be having so many directories. Okay. So the directory structure of the file system, they will be able to connect one directory with another directory. Okay. So the each and every directory will be containing information about all the files in the file system. So for example, the file name or the file identification number and the size of the file and so what type of file it is and the location of the file on the hard disk. Okay, so actually where these files are stored on the hard disk, right? Its location and the manner of accessing the records or the files by the other users. Okay, so all this information will be contained in the so-called directory. Okay, like it contains information about all the files of the file system. Okay, right. So next slide. Yeah. So we can have the directories, so which are able to provide us three important features. Okay. So the first feature offered by the directory is naming freedom. Second characteristic is the sharing of files, and third feature is the grouping of files. Okay, so basically we have naming freedom and sharing of files and grouping of files as the three main important features of any directory in the file system. So let me discuss with the first main feature of the directories, and those are naming freedom. Like as the name itself indicates, naming freedom means user can give any desired name according to his will and wish. Okay, according to the user comfort, any user can offer any desired name, okay, to his file. Okay, so without worrying about the file name used by the other users, okay, I can give any file name, okay, any desired name to my files, okay, without worrying about the names which are given by the other users. Okay, so this feature we call it as the naming freedom. Okay, so the user's ability to give or offer any desired name to his file without worrying about the file name that are being used by the other users. Okay, hence we can have similar names, okay, for the files of different users. Okay, so this feature we call it as the naming freedom. Okay, so we know that like I'll be having multiple files, okay, so by many users. Okay, so these multiple files by many users will be stored within a directory structure. Okay, and if we have a restriction that two files cannot have the same name, okay, so then this becomes very much difficult. Okay, so for that reason, okay, so what we do is, so we have a feature by name naming freedom, where any user can give any name according to his will and wish, according to his comfort for his files. Okay, yeah, so like this feature is made available in the directory structure. Okay, and second feature is sharing of files. Okay, so this sharing of files means user ability to access, okay, users ability to access the files created by another users. Okay, so the file which is created by one user can be accessed by other user. Okay, and the ability to permit other users to access these files, we call it as the sharing of files. Okay, so if a user wants to share a group of files, so then the whole directory can be shared. Why? Because again, you can recall the definition of directory. So what is it? Directory is nothing but the group of files. Okay, so this directory is nothing but the collection of group of files. Hence, if a user wants to share a group of files, so then the whole directory can be shared, so that all the files in the directory are made available to other users. Okay, so the user's ability to access files created by the other users and ability to permit other users to like access my files, we call it as the sharing of files. Okay, and third feature offered by this directory is grouping of files. Okay, like as the name itself indicates, like I'll be able to create separate directory. Okay, so based upon the functionality. Say for example, I can group all my C program, right? Means I can have the storing of all the C programs under one directory, and I can have the grouping and storing of all the gaming applications under one directory, and I can have the storing of all my YouTube videos under one directory. Okay, suppose if I'm using only one directory and I'm storing all the files, means that becomes very much clumsy for the access. Okay, so the access becomes much more complicated if I'm storing the different files of different kinds and different natures, right, like in a single directory. So for that, what we can do is, so I can go for the grouping the files according to the category. Okay, so by creating separate subdirectory, okay, based upon the kind of the programs, okay, or the kind of functionalities, I can have the creation of separate subdirectories. So for example, I can group all my C codes under one directory, or I can group all my games under one directory, or I can have the grouping of all my YouTube videos under one directory. Hence, I can have easy access of all the files, okay, stored in the different directories, okay. Right. So like same thing is been given here. Suppose if I put all of these files in a single directory, means it becomes very much difficult for me to access and retrieve the files. So for that, what I can do is, easy method is, I can create separate directories, or I can create separate subdirectories for each and every kind of the file. Okay. Hence, I can achieve efficiency in the location of the file in a faster manner. Okay, so you can achieve higher efficiency in accessing these files, and the access time will be also less. Okay, in fact. Okay, so what we discussed right now was the three important features offered by the directories, where the first feature is naming freedom, second feature is sharing of files, and the third feature is grouping of files. So after that, so we have a small information regarding the directory table. Okay, so what all information will be stored in a typical directory entry. Okay, so we have here these many fields. Okay, right. So we have here these many fields present in the directory entry, right? Typical directory entry. So a directory may contain subdirectories or some groups of files, right? And each file in the directory entry, the OS will be able to store OS will be able to store some set of information, and these are the various fields present in a typical directory entry. Okay, like we'll be seeing these fields one by one. Okay, so let me start with the first field. Right, first field is the file name. Okay, and the implication of this first field, say by name, file name is, so we have the indication of the name of the file, and we have some limitations on the number of characters or letters, okay, that can be used to indicate the file name. Okay, so suppose if we see the, say, DOS operating system, okay, so this like in case of the DOS operating system, so only 8 characters I can use, okay, so as to represent the name of the file. Okay, so but in case of Windows, no such restriction is there, right, on the length of the name of the file. Okay, so the first field, like so-called file name, is used to indicate the name of the file, and it depends upon the various operating systems. Okay, so so wherein we have some restrictions on the number of characters or the length of the name, so that each file can have. Okay, so for example, like in case of the DOS operating system, okay, so we have a restriction that so this file name can only have up to the max of 8 characters. Okay, so but in case of Windows OS, no such restriction is there with respect to the length of the file name. Okay, so second field is the so-called the type of the file and the size. Okay, so as the name itself indicates, so for example, the file type can be, say, suppose if I'm writing a C code, means so I can have the type of file as .c. Okay, so the extensions basically for the file will be able to indicate the type of the file. So for example, so for the C code, so can have the extension .c, and for, say, assembly level programming, I can have the name of the file like having extension .asm, right? And if I'm writing a C++ program, means I can have the extension .cpp. Okay, so these extensions .c, .asm, and .cpp are used to indicate the type of the file as well as the size of the file. Like always, the size, like so the size of size of file can be like in terms of either 10 KB or 20 KB, right, etc. So we can have the indication of the type of the file as well as the size of the file, right, in the second field. And the third field is indicating the location information. So where exactly the particular file is residing on the hard disk. Okay, so this information will be indicated by the location of the file, right, like as seen in the third field. Okay, and the fourth field is like indicating the protection information. So this protection is nothing but the so-called the read protection, or I can have the write protection, or I can have the execute protection. Okay, so the owner of the file can give some protection to his file. Okay, say against say the writing of the file, or the user can protect his file against the writing of the file, or the access to have the execution of the file. Okay, so the user can offer some protection to his file by giving some protection, okay, with respect to the read access, write access, as well as with respect to the execution of his file by the other users. Okay, so that protection will be indicated in this protection information field. So next field is nothing but the open count. Okay, so this open count field will be having a number basically, and this number will be indicating that how many processes have opened this particular file. Okay, so this OS will be able to keep a track on the number of processes that are able to open one particular file. Okay, and that particular number of times is indicated by a number, and that will be stored in this open count field. Okay, and next field is nothing but the log field. Okay, like information regarding this log field is, so this log field indicates so whether a process is currently accessing the file in an exclusive manner. Okay, so a program can use a particular file exclusively. Okay, so this exclusive indicates that so whether a file is being used by a single program or not. Okay, so this exclusive manner, okay, indicates that so whether a file is being used by only one program or not. Okay, so it is used while synchronization of the files. Okay, that is like it will indicate that a program, right, so a single program wants to use a particular file exclusively, okay, so that no other program can access this particular file. So this feature we call it as exclusive manner of accessing a file, where only one program will be able to have an access to a one particular file, and no other programs are allowed to access the same file. So this feature we call it as exclusive accessing of a file, and that is been indicated by this lock. Okay, and second, last but one field is the flag field. Okay, so this flag field like is storing information regarding the nature of the file. Okay, so like this file can be say the so-called directory. Okay, or a file can be a link. Okay, or a file can be a mounted file system. Okay, so this flag field, so you can like it can store the letter D. Okay, so where this D stands for the word directory, right? Or a file can be L. Okay, so this L stands for the link. Okay, so what is a link basically? So this link is 1 minute. So this link is nothing but a direct connection between the two existing files in the directory structure. Okay, so this flag field is able to indicate that the file is of type like either a directory or a link or a mounted file system. So D for directory, L for link, and M for the mounted file system. Like again, I repeat. So this L stands for the link. Okay. Suppose if the say like L is written here, like in the flag field, means that indicates that the file is nothing but a link, where link is nothing but a direct connection between the two existing files in the directory structure. Okay, so we have a figure also on this link concept. Okay, where we are able to have a direct connection between the two files, right, existing in the directory structure. And the last field is nothing but the miscellaneous information field, and this field, so like it basically contains the information like the owner of the file, right, and the time of creation of the file, along with the time of last modification. Okay, so the like ID of the file, right, or the unless the ID of the owner, right, and the date of creation of the file, and the time of creation, and the last use, right, and the last modification, all the information will be stored in the miscellaneous information. Okay. So basically, from examination point of view, you may expect this particular question, like explain with a neat diagram the typical directory entries like inside a file system. Okay. So like this question can be easily answered. So by writing this particular diagram and along with the explanation of each and every field in detail. Just a minute. Yeah. So again, so from examination point of view, so you can refer to this particular concept. Okay. Explain with the neat diagram the typical directory entry. So for that, you can have the practicing of this particular table, like having these many fields. Okay. Like having these many fields, and you can explain each and every field in detail. So the next concept is the different types of directories. Okay, like as you can see here you can see basically the various types of directories to be used. Okay, so one we have that is two-level directories, and we have a tree structured directory, and we have graph directory. Okay, so for your syllabus, like you have here two-level directories and three. So this tree structure directory as well as the graph directory. Okay. So we also have this single level directory. So, but that is not there for your syllabus. So let me start with this two level directories. And according to the figure, like as you can see here, so you can find here, so this square boxes, right? And these square boxes are nothing but the directories. Okay. And these circles are nothing but the files which are being present or there in the subdirectories. Okay, so we have something called as the use of master directory, right? And this master directory is also called as the root directory, and we have so many subdirectories. Okay, also like indicated like by using a square symbol. Okay, so these squares are indicating the directories, and these circles are able to indicate the various files. Okay, so the concept like with respect to this two-level directories are, okay, so like here I can find select two kinds of directories. Okay, so one we call it as the master or also called as root directory, and second one is the subdirectories. And as you can see here, so we have a single master directory, and under which you have three users. Okay, and for each and every user, A user and B user and C user. So for each and every user, you have created a separate user directory. Okay, so this master directory, also called as root directory, will be containing the information about all these user directories of A user, B user, and C user of the system. So here, each entry in the master directory will be containing the information regarding the user directories A, B, and C. Okay, and regarding this user directory, so this contains information about the files owned by a single user. As you can see here, so this user A is having its own user directory, where this user A is able to create like two files. Okay, so one file so by name alpha, and second file so by name beta, right? Like similarly, this user B is also able to create two files. So one is by name gamma, and second file is by name alpha. And user 3 is also having one file, so by name calendar. Okay, so this use of this user directory will be able to provide us the naming freedom. Okay, like again, recall the meaning of naming freedom. Okay, so without worrying about the names of the other users, I can offer any file name for my file. Okay, so that feature we call it as the, what do you call that, naming freedom. Okay, So we have the use of master directory as well as the user directory. And here you can see only two levels are there. Okay, so one is the master directory and second level is the level of user directories. Okay, yeah. So like information regarding this like two level directories are, so you can see something called as multi-level structure. Okay, so this multi-level structure indicates what? You can have the various levels of directory, okay, depending upon the functionality. Okay, so you can expect multiple levels of directories, so which allows a user to structure his files, okay, based upon the functionality, right? So that we can call it as a multi-level structure. And second feature of this two-level directories are directory as a file. Okay, so this directory is created in the same way as that of a file creation. Okay, so a directory can be used, okay, so as to have the storage of information and all the aspect of the file. So for example, the file creation or file deletion or file naming, okay, same procedure applies for the creation of the directory as well. Okay, hence you can say it as directory as a file. Okay, directory as a file. So the user can create the files and directories within a directory. Means he can also give a desired name to a directory, like similar to the file name what we did. Okay, so we can have the effective customization of the directory structure. And the third field is generalized syntax for file access. Okay, so this means that it allows any user to access any file in the file system. Okay, and for that the user should be able to give a specific path, okay, so as to access a particular file in the directory structure in the file system. Okay, so it allows the user to access any file in the file system. Okay, so basically, you can explain this, let's suppose two-level directories, like using this particular figure, where we can find so one master directory at the top, and below this, I can have the creation of separate user directories meant for each and every user. Okay, like it's not like I'll be storing all the information of user A and B and C in the same directory. Okay, instead here we are creating separate user directories meant for each and every user. So for example, here you can find three users, like user A is here and user B is here and user C is here, where so like user A is created two files alpha and beta, and user B has created again two files gamma and alpha, and user 3 has created, I mean like user C has created so one file, so we name calendar. Okay, and the information regarding all these user directories will be stored in the master directory. Okay, so again the same figure like is being indicated